What's up, Falcon Nation? Voice of the Friends University Falcons, Pat Strathman, joined by head football coach at Friends University, Terry Harrison. Another edition of the Friends University Coaches Show here from Chicken Max. We are currently at the 325 Southwest Street location, but there are 3 locations here in Wichita. Chicken Max, locally owned and hatched right here in Wichita, known for their legendary sandwiches, taking the chicken sandwich to the max. Their smoked chicken is smoked in almond wood every day, several times a day in each location, giving it a fresh, unique flavor. Savory sides like mac and cheese, mashed potatoes and gravy, potato salad, coleslaw, and much more. Club salads and power balls with our smoked chicken for a healthy choice. Several sauces unique to Chicken Max. Come on out and check them out. They make this possible. Every Thursday at 5:30 is when we record. If you want to stop on by, come on by. We'd love to have you. Well, Coach, 1-3 start to the season. A loss to Tabor College on the road up in Hillsboro. You're turning your attention to St. Mary this Saturday at 6 o'clock at Adair Austin Stadium. Can't wait for the home crowd, and there's a little bit of a special flavor to the game on Saturday as well that we'll get into later on during the program. But last week, a loss to Tabor, 35-16 being the final. Tabor, known for that defense, had a feeling that Tabor would be ready defensively, but it was your defense that started things off with an interception right off the bat. You get a field goal, but Tabor was able to get a lead at halftime, 21-3. They would hang on to that lead and win 35-16. Your overall thoughts of the game up in Hillsboro?
Yeah, so many things to talk about the game, but number one, so excited about our home game this Saturday. We've played 6 games as a program between varsity and JV, 5 of which have been on the road. So we have been straight road warriors, man, and I know that experience will pay off for us here in the long run, man. But no, as far as Tabor goes, right, definitely some highs and definitely some lows, and it's just where we're at as a program, where we're learning some hard lessons together, and man, going through hard times together, and that's that's okay. And it's kind of one of the things, like when we chose to come here as a staff, when the players chose to commit to Friends University and the guys stayed, we knew we were going to build this thing together. And as we talk to the team so much about people say football is this game of life, right? And it teaches you how to be a man, and right, and people say that all the time as a coach, and if that's true, and if we truly believe that. What a great opportunity for our young men, our families, our coaches, all of us, man, the entire Friends University just community to learn from a little bit of short-term frustration, a little bit of short-term embarrassment, and a little bit of short-term anger. When you have that, that can go one of two ways. That's healthy to have that, right? I was incredibly frustrated and at times angry, if not embarrassed, on the sideline. But how we're building this program about a program that honors God is about much more than just football. How you handle that is really important to developing as a man. And so that's what we talked to the guys about and told them, hey, man, it's healthy to have those things, and that's okay. Make sure we use that and channel that in a way that benefits this program, benefits their experience, and honestly represents their family really well, and also honors God through the process. And so that's kind of where we're at as a program. Our kids are awesome. Our kids are tough. It is not a lack of effort, not a lack of toughness. It is not anything like that. Our coaches are phenomenal. It's not a lack of knowledge. It is simply where we're at as a program. And, as frustrating as that can be, it really is okay. I'm so proud to be a Falcon. I'm so proud of Friends University. Just grateful to have all these young men. And, we had a great week of practice, and our kids came back ready to roll. So that's kind of where we're at. And, that sums Tabor up in a nutshell for me. Highs and lows, highs and lows. So.
We hit on pretty much everything. Well, let's go to the start of the game, though. You get that pick right off the bat. Peyton Douglas with great recognition gets the interception. Second week in a row, you guys were able to force a turnover really early in the game. The game against Bethel, you guys force a turnover when it comes to kickoff. And when it comes to this, it's an actual defensive play, an actual pick. Right. And it was just – I was watching that film and going, wow, look at the recognition, look at the play, and that's a young pup out there making that play, that recognition right off the bat.
Yeah, honestly, they've done a great job of that, honestly, creating turnovers. And then when you start off a game like that, when you start on kickoff first play and you get interception, man, it just felt it was so cool and so awesome. And those are the moments, you kind of remember that from the sideline, just that energy you get from a sideline and a turnover like that. So was proud of him. That's a freshman who's started every game of his career to this point, and man, he did it was a great job. And shoot, I wish he would have scored. You know what I mean?
I know, but I was watching that too. I was like, I'm pretty sure Coach Harrison's like, keep going, keep going, keep going.
Oh, no, yeah, we were making fun of him for getting tackled, right? Like, this is a linebacker, But man, very cool and awesome play, right? And you're always, when your defense creates turnovers, which we take great pride in, that's always a big deal. And, man, gave us a great opportunity there to get the ball in great field position. And, when you play a team like that on the road, you want to capitalize. And, we were able to get points out of it, which was awesome. Our PAT field goal team's done a great job all year. But definitely, wish we could have scored in that opportunity.
Yeah, and you got 3, obviously 1 and 7, but getting 3, doesn't it feel nice to have like a kicker like Bobby Schmidt just in your back pocket? I just feel like every time I watch him, and I'm talking about not only is his kicking when it comes to field goals and PATs and stuff like that, that's great. Like, don't get me wrong, that's what kickers should do. But the guy can also boot it. Like, he had a 53-yard punt on Saturday. I believe against Bethel he had like a 56 or 61. I'm like, this guy's got a leg, and I knew that going into the season, but to see it in person on a regular basis, that's a nice little asset to have.
Yeah, no, he's the best kicker I've had. We've unfortunately, we won a bunch of games in the last 3 years, but we really struggled with inconsistent kicking. I think we were the worst team in the conference in PAT, so we had to score extra touchdowns every game to win. But having Bobby, which is really cool. Number one, a grad student who's been at Friends. He's really mentored Aiden Hess. We have a freshman kicker who's awesome as well and made a bunch of field goals and PATs on JV. And so just having that weapon and as frustrating as it can be when you don't score a touchdown, you get that 4th down, you have to take those points. And, knowing that we have a kicker that can make those and is very confident. And, our specialists have done a great job between him, Aiden, Killian, and Zach have done a good job of snapping. And then obviously KG's our holder. And so those guys take pride in it. And you got to have great special teams to win. That's the 3rd phase of the game. And, it is definitely a weapon. And, the reality is we're going to come into a game and we're going to need him to make a field goal in the 4th quarter, most likely to win a football game one of these days. And, it is really nice to, have that comfort and confidence in your guy to run him out there and let's make it happen.
Well, later in the first half, you guys are down 21-3. Tabor comes up with a goal line stand that just felt big. And not trying to say that the game was decided on one particular drive, but there's no doubt that getting into the end zone at that point would have been crucial with about 5 minutes left, I believe, in the first half. You guys get in the end zone, then I think the game becomes a little bit different in half number 2.
Yeah, we would have got the ball at half, down by 2 scores, but a way tighter game. And, that definitely incredibly frustrating and haven't had to deal with that much as a coach. Honestly, that's a little bit new to me, being stuffed there on the goal line. But, yeah, it's just a technical issue, right? And then it's so frustrating because as a parent or as a football player or as a coach, when times are good, it's never quite as good as it seems. And then obviously when you get in that scenario, it's never as bad as it seems. And so, you go back and watch the film, and it's just so, just the difference between scoring and not is so tight. So very frustrating, but definitely if you look back to the Bethel game and Tabor, those last 4 or 5 minutes of the first half and those first 4 or 5 minutes of the second half have honestly been just moments that we have not risen up as a program as a whole, and those have really sabotaged our chances to win. And so if you throw the Kansas Wesleyan game out, we've been in these tight competitive games with teams that have great records in our conference. They're all everybody we play is now in the top 3 or 4 of the conference. To see that and know, okay, if we can as a program learn from that and know, okay, hey, last 4 minutes of the first half, first 4 minutes of that second half, if we can perform better, our odds of winning go up way higher, right? And sometimes winning is as simple as that. Don't do things like that to lose, right? And so, it's okay. I can tell you our kids have learned from it. And when you break it down that way and watch the film, while it's still incredibly frustrating, and still incredibly embarrassing, it's just what you have to learn from it, right? And so what we say is, for this season, for where we're at to this point, everything has been a win for us. All these situations have been a win for us. If not right now, moving forward as a program, we will win because of those scenarios. And so, what's crazy is some of that takes patience and some of that just takes time. But we will be able to look back to these points of these first 4 games and be like, man, we learned that lesson, and look how it paid off now. And so that's what you have to do as a program and a young program that we are right now. And like I said, we tell our kids I'm not the smartest guy in the world, but, with time and coaching, I do have a little bit of wisdom and experience only because I've done it. And you have to trust me when I tell you, man, one day all those things are going to pay off. And some lessons, unfortunately, are best learned the hard way, and that's pretty much been the story of my life.
Yeah, and I was going to ask you in my head, I'm thinking, all right, how can I ask the follow-up question? So how do you change the finish to half number 1 and a start at half number 2? How do you change something like that?
Yeah, number one, you have to acknowledge that it happened, right? You have to acknowledge that, hey, this is not a talent issue. This is not a desire issue. it's what's crazy. Our kids love football. Our kids are awesome kids. Just tough, competitive young men. So it's not that. It is literally a technical issue. And so what we say is in recruiting and then in retention, we want to have these both and players, right? So we do have an incredible amount of toughness, an incredible amount of competitiveness on our team. Like, our kids truly love Falcon football, but that's not enough. And also, you got to be tough and technical, right? And so it's not just enough that's tough, and maybe it's a 6-inch step for an offensive lineman instead of a 12-inch step, or you think of all these examples, right? Tackling with both arms instead of not wrapping up, whatever it is. It's not enough just to be tough. You also have to be technical, and the majority of these times are those things. And what's nice is, as a coach, when you can point back to practice and say, "Hey, this mistake we made in the game. Look how this is what you did in practice," and then it manifested in the game. And just as frustrating as it can be in a negative sense when you lose, when you fix it and you move forward and you win because of it, or you're more successful because of it, man, it's just as rewarding as a coach, or even more rewarding, right, than just simply winning, for whatever reason. So, yeah, that you have to address it, and you have to, like I said, you have to confront that. You can't shy away from your problems. You can't shy away from your frustration, both as a player and a coach. But, man, we do want to do it in a way, man, number one, that honors God, right, and represents Friends University. But then number two, that our kids, we can respect each other. We respect them as young men. They can respect us as a coach. And we do it in a way, hey, we confront those things, but we don't mean any offense by it, and they don't take any offense by it. And I think our kids, I would hope our kids would obviously tell you that, yeah, that is absolutely true, right? We are truly in this thing together. So as frustrating as it is, that's how you address it.
Waylon Chance, feel like we have to tie by him. 5 carries for, 165, including a touchdown and 88-yarder. Watching that on film was, oh my, that was very impressive. And I've been impressed with Waylon, because I think here's the thing about the offense. You can do so many different things with this flex-bone offense, right? You can hone in on the B-back. You can hone in on the right guy or the left guy. Certain opportunities are going to present themselves, right? Or the quarterback's going to keep a lot. It just varies. It all kind of depends on what the defense gives you.
Right.
So when you are one of those guys that's an A-back on the right side or the left side, wherever it might be, sometimes you don't get a lot of carries. Sometimes you maybe touch the ball once. Sometimes you don't touch the ball at all. Sometimes you get the ball 18 times. It's not like Waylon touched it 18 times, but when he got his opportunities, it was there, and he took advantage for a big day with 5 carries for 165 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah, we should have given it to him 18 times, and he'd have had like 600 yards, and we'd have scored 70-something
but
points.
What a tough runner, though, right? And this is a guy converting from wide receiver to tailback, and he's been taking it in stride.
Yeah, that's the deal, right? So one of the benefits of our offense is it is the most unique offense in the country. We want to be the best at it in the country, but it requires unselfishness, and it is not about one person, right? And so I love that about our offense. It really just can sum up our program as a whole. It's not about one person. It really is about how can I block for my teammate. It's not just about me carrying the ball all the time, right? But man, when you have a kid like Waylon, I think he played defense last year a lot. I think he got moved from receiver to maybe safety. It was
he's had to bounce around a couple different times.
He's had a bizarre career, right? But from the day we've gotten here, what we can number one say about Waylon is he's never missed a thing. The young man had an internship with Koch Industries all spring, and didn't miss one weightlifting session or any meeting or anything like that. That turned into a potential full-time job opportunity at Koch Industries, which here in Wichita is a big deal. So number one, man, what a great representative of Friends University, and what that business degree can do for you here at Friends, and the opportunity for internships. Mm-hmm. But then to see a young man that's 100% summer lifter, 100%'s never missed anything, man, to watch it pay off on the field was, in the middle of short-term frustration, in the middle of short-term anger because we're not playing well, man, just couldn't be more proud of a young man who's more deserving of a little bit of success. And that, if you're calling success, rushing yards and touchdowns. But
sure.
What's crazy, just refused to go down, and just out of sheer will, and made those plays and gave us a chance to feel like, in that third quarter, we kind of got a little momentum going, like, okay, if we can get a stop and get the ball back, we got to get a shot to get back into this game. And it was all driven by his, just refusal to go down when you're a ball carrier. Sometimes football is that simple, right? Don't get tackled when you have the ball, right? And so he did a great job of that. And honestly, man, if we have to deal with a little bit of short-term frustration in losing a football game, or maybe not run for as many yards as we want, or whatever it looks like, man, if we can do that, but young men like Waylon graduate from Friends University and then go on to be Falcons in the Wichita community, man, that's a win for our program. That's a win for Wichita, and obviously, we're extremely proud of him.
Defensively, Tabor was just 3 of 11 on third downs, and you had 8 tackles for loss. I think those are 2 encouraging areas of improvement.
Yeah, I mean,
you're looking at me like I want to add more to it.
Well,
But
it's like
I'm just going to stop right there. And
what's
let
crazy,
you carry.
it's again, and this is not like you're really when you're building a program and you're teaching kids how to build a culture of winning outside of on a scoreboard, right? Because those come when you have a winning team culture. All those stops on third down, and if you go and watch the touchdowns, you press pause and there's a guy there, and we call those missed opportunities, right? No one wants to miss a tackle. No one wants to miss an opportunity. But how you flip from losing that game to winning that game is showing these young men, it's like, hey, it's right there. We have a guy in position, and we just missed the opportunity. Now, what happens is when you're on defense, if you're on offense and you have a bad first down, you get second down. If you have a bad second down, you get third down. And if you get third down, you punt it. And it's not fun, but it's not points, right? Unfortunately, on defense, you can, like you just mentioned, you can have this great third down, conversion rate or not letting them convert third down. Mm-hmm. But, man, you can point – if at first down you miss a tackle, boom, it's a touchdown. And so what we're trying to educate our young men on is watching film. Those missed opportunities on defense, well, it's no different than a missed opportunity on offense. It's just people can't see what's going on in the box, mm-hmm. right? And so that's how you learn from it. But, we were talking about the defense, man. They've done awesome. They're doing good things. What is good enough, right? Man, that's hard to really say right now. But proud of them for giving us an opportunity and felt like they've played some really, really, really good defense at times. Mm-hmm. And then, quite honestly, the only thing that hasn't has been missed opportunities. And so what's cool is when you can point back to it on film, you can show guys, hey, look, man, this is what we're doing on defense. There's a guy here that can make a play. We just didn't make it happen. And then you can coach that, because if it's a tackling drill or if it's a defeated block drill, that's one thing, all right? But if guys just aren't there, that's a whole nother. And so, like you talked about, they've done a good job, but man, we want to make sure we continue to improve on the way to stop guys from scoring on third down or stop guys from converting third down to then converting that to give us the opportunity more on offense.
Yeah, well, it's a group. You look at the offense and defense. Obviously, offensively, you have your challenges of implementing a new system and new schemes and all that stuff. Defensively, coming into this year, it was only a handful of guys that saw significant snaps last season. So you knew you're going to have kind of a new group, and when you have a new group, sometimes it takes a little while to gel and get comfortable and all that stuff. But felt like the last couple of games they've been up for the challenge at least.
Yeah.
And not only that, too, but you're talking about two teams that like to run the football, and that's kind of a mentality. Like right. What you guys want to try to establish in terms of running the football, you want to be physical, you want to be tough, you want to be that type of team. Well, it's the same thing defensively. When you're facing a couple of teams that are going to run at you and go try to stop it, that's kind of mentality to stop the run.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. They've done so. And then there's an element too. We are in this together, right? We talk to our team like we are not an offense and a separate defense and a separate special teams. We are truly in this together, and we serve each other every day at practice to make sure our guys understand. Hey, man, we are in this together, and we want our guys to invest in each other from the sideline. It's not a finger pointing game. Having said that, right, it also is hard, man, when you're struggling on offense like we did on Saturday. I mean, it was clear, right? We were struggling, and we were having trouble, getting first downs or even getting close to first downs. It is hard when you're getting a good stop on defense, and then a minute and a half later, punt ready, and so that's it's hard, and we got to find a way to own the time of possession. And we want to win significantly on the time of possession to give our defense an opportunity to get a blow on the sideline and put some pressure on the other team in another way for owning the time of possession. And so we say we want to hold on the ball like a vendetta, man, forever. You know what I mean? We don't ever want to give that thing away. And so there's an element of all that, right? They've played well, and they've given us great field position. Then at times we have put our defense in bad spots. And so that's not an offense versus defense thing. This is reality of the situation. And so if we can convert some first downs on offense, put some scores on the board, and unleash our defense to operate, ahead with some pressure on the other team, it makes it way easier to know, hey, look, these guys, we're going to have to defend the pass here. That's what they're going to do. They're down by so many points, and they get in this weird spot as an offense. Unfortunately, right now, it's been really hard to, we've been in some positions where it's like, hey, they're getting great field position, and it's you have no real tendencies on what you're going to see, and so it just makes it harder for a defender.
Sure. This Saturday, taking on St. Mary, Spires last year. Tough sledding for them, but I think you see a lot of progress with this Spires team. At least when I pop on the film, I look and I go, this is a program getting better, a team that competed with a top 6th team, I believe, now in Southwestern. I believe they're number 6 now in the country. So they competed. They competed at home. They have a mobile quarterback, which that in itself could be a challenge. They have a running back that's very shifty. You get him in open space, and he's going to make you pay with an 88-yard touchdown. That's the way it goes. And defensively, you and I have talked about St. Mary, off the air about what they can do defensively. Defensively, they're making some major strides. So your thoughts on the St. Mary Spires and the challenge ahead?
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head on all those points, right? That's exactly right. They're defensively last year, so being in the conference, we were able to play against them, and they were tough. They were one of the tougher teams we played on defense last year, and so that we are obviously we're going to have a challenge on offense as far as they're a good defense and a tough physical defense. The challenge is can the improvements we've made every day at practice, will that finally manifest on a Saturday? And if that's the case, we really like what we can do against them. But their defensive lines is as physical as a defensive line we'll have seen, and so they've done a good job there with that. And then on offense, like you mentioned, their quarterback is just he's an electric little runner, left-handed kid. So left-handers are my oldest daughter's left-handed, so I can say this awkward. As far as like how do you left-handed? It just looks weird when you throw left-handed, right?
From a defensive, it's just like when you're playing basketball.
Yeah,
you're trying to go, all right, I'm prepared. Wait, hold on, you're shooting with your left. You're not supposed to be shooting with your left.
Exactly.
And it throws you, same thing with throwing, I imagine.
It's just crazy.
You're probably thinking, well, that's always going to go on that side because he's throwing with his right hand because it's a natural point. But when you got a lefty, it's, oh, hey, by the way, on the opposite side, I got to be ready for this situation.
Yeah, exactly. So, and he's very fast, mobile, and their running back's really good. So, I love the matchup for our defense. I think they're improving so much. I think they can do really well, but definitely the mobile quarterbacks are just game-changing, right? Yeah. When you play, it's just another – then you can add another hat in the run game and all the problems that adds, and it's why you see it so prevalent in college football. So, man, it is going to be an extreme challenge for us. What I do know, if our kids can make the improvements they've made every week, right, tough without question is what they are. But, man, if we can make the technical improvements, man, I'm just excited to play in front of a home crowd where our kids don't have to get on a bus. And hopefully all that road warrior stuff we've been doing will pay off, and our guys will, have an opportunity to win our first home game of the season. And I think, I know they're ready for that. I know our families are extremely proud of them. I can't thank our families enough. Unfortunately, we had to with the Lightning at the end of the game, we had to do our put-up session on the inside of the locker room. But man, I'm just excited for the families here because you can just feel – the desire for winning football here in Wichita. You can feel the gratefulness for Friends University. I mean, all of those things, without a doubt, are here at Friends University. And so what we want to do is we want to match that. And for me, more than anything, I want to see our kids have success all the time. And so, do a little bit of short-term pride and short-term enjoyment as opposed to a little bit of frustration and anger. And so, man, I know our great week of practice will pay off. And with a great matchup like St. Mary, it's what you should want, right? We want to be in tough games, and we want that opportunity to play in that tough game and win a game that truly matters. And so I think we'll have that opportunity Saturday.
Well, off the field, there's something cool going on. The United Rescue Mission, Friends University teaming up with the United Rescue Mission. They're going to be out there, which is really cool. And if you don't know enough about the United Rescue Mission, I would highly suggest you go out and look it up. I was talking to Tony Nave earlier today, and they've been around for 70-plus years, and they've been helping out those people that have just been put in tough times. And I think that's part of the message that you're trying to get with your team is, hey, look, this is what we're about, and this is our message. We need to take care of each other. Like, football's football, but it's certainly more than a game for sure. So if you come on out on Saturday, every ticket purchased, $1 will be donated to United Rescue Mission. I imagine that's something that you'll be talking to your players about here this week, saying, hey, look, it's football. Yeah, it's football, but there are bigger things and more important things out there in our country right now.
Yeah, that's exactly right. We want our program to be about that, right? We want to take football very seriously. We want to win championships. We're going to win championships. We want to play in playoff games. We want to bring a national championship home to Wichita, but we certainly know our purpose is much greater than that, right? And what's cool about when you have an opportunity like this, not to harp on again the short-term frustration of losing a football game, man, when you have that opportunity to see maybe some people who fell on harder times than that, it makes, losing a silly football game seem pretty insignificant, right? And what a great lesson for young men that, right, we love football so much, right? And these young men love football so much, and they invest so much time, energy, resources into this thing. It can seem like it's the biggest thing in the world. But man, when you see other people that maybe have had it a little bit rougher than you and don't have the opportunity to play college football and be a college student and do all the things that college students do, I think it's a good reminder that there's much more to life than football, and it's why you choose a Friends University and our football program that prioritizes things, a purpose much more than just winning a football game. And so while we want all those things to happen, also we want to take this opportunity as a program to look and see, like, hey, we're about so much more, and what a cool opportunity that Friends has provided for our families and kids to support that mission. And I'm excited and proud that we're doing it.
All right, Coach. Well, thank you so much for your time. Best of luck.
Thank you.
Terry Harrison, head football coach at Friends University, here on the Friends University Coaches Show. Friends in St. Mary on Saturday at 6 o'clock from Adair Austin Stadium. Come on out, support the Union Rescue Mission. We just talked about it moments ago, but every ticket purchased, $1 will be donated to the Union Rescue Mission. So coming out, 6 o'clock, kick, should be fun. I know here today we're recording on a Thursday and it's cold outside. Or cold to some people, maybe not so much for Coach Harrison. But then on Saturday, it's supposed to be a little bit warmer than today. Doesn't matter. Come on out and have a great time under the lights at Adair Austin Stadium, with kickoff being at 6 o'clock. Come on out and support the Friends Falcons. We still have more to come here on the Friends University Coaches Show. We'll be joined by two players, Waylon Chance, Ethan Grimmett. Will be joined by both of them here in moments. Don't go anywhere. More of the Friends University Coaches Show coming your way next here from Chicken Max. What's up, Falcon Nation? Voice of the Friends Falcons, Pat Strathman. I'm pleased to be joined by Tony Nave of the Union Rescue Mission. Coming up on Saturday, it's Friends in St. Mary, 6 o'clock kick at Adair Austin Stadium. And the cool thing is, if you come on out, you purchase a ticket, $1 will be donated to such a great cause. And Tony can spend much more time talking about it than I can. Tony, this is a very exciting time for Saturday.
It is. We're real excited to be a partner up with Friends University. You guys have been a staple in Wichita, Kansas for a long time. We're super excited. So I want everybody just to come out, have a good time, and watch the ball game. And you're going to support the Union Rescue Mission. We've been around Wichita for over 70 years, and thankfully we've partnered with Friends University, and we're super excited to be at the ball game on Saturday. So everybody come on out and watch Friends rock and roll.
Welcome back to the Friends University Coaches Show, live from Chicken Max, as we record every Thursday at 5:30. If you want to come on out, please do so. We are located at the 325 Southwest Street location, 3 locations here in Wichita, gearing up for Friends in St. Mary on Saturday at 6 o'clock at Adair Austin Stadium. Pleased to be joined by two football players. To my left, a freshman from Claremore, Oklahoma, Ethan Grimmett. And to my right, a senior from Valley Center, Kansas, played at Independent High School, Waylon Chance. Fellas, glad to have you here on this wonderful show. How's everything going? Ethan, you're a freshman, so how's everything going for you?
It's good. Just getting used to Wichita, finding my way around, First time having college classes like that, this many, so, study hall, lots of that.
Who doesn't love study hall? And then you got the brainchild right here, Waylon Chance knows a thing or two about it. Waylon, how's everything going for you?
Man, it's going, thugging out the last years, so we're just going to keep trucking and see how it goes. So.
Well, we'll dive into that. We'll dive a little bit more into the freshman year. Let's go back to the last game real quick and briefly kind of summarize what took place there. 35-16, Tabor gets the win. It was a road game for you guys. A great start. You get a pick right off the bat. First play from scrimmage for Tabor. Guys settled for a field goal, down 21-3 at the half, and just simply couldn't recover. But Waylon, you had yourself a pretty decent game. 5 carries for 165 yards and a touchdown. But I'm sure you would trade all that if there was a W at the end of that. Your thoughts on the last game against Tabor?
Yeah, most definitely. The stats are awesome and everything, but at the end of the day, I'm really playing a bigger game as football, like 11-man. You're always going for a bigger team win, and whenever you can't get that, it kind of just throws out all the stats at the end of the day.
Yeah, for sure. Ethan, you're a freshman. You're still learning here
early on in the season. Your thoughts on the last game against Tabor?
Yeah,
there's a lot of adjustments we can make to this week in practice to become better. You know, we had a lot of little mental things last week, but we've been working really hard this week in practice to get ready for that and just prepare for this next week. But yeah, it just sucks when you can't get a team win. You know, we all really wanted it, but just came up a little short.
Well, it seems like the spirits are very high. I think sometimes when teams start 1-3, even if it's 0-4, and sometimes if it's 3-1, coming off a loss, the mentality gets challenged a little bit. Sometimes you sit there and you start sulking and you think, I don't know if this is right for me, all that type of stuff. But your spirits seem high as well as the entire team. So I guess your thoughts on the team mentality after a 1-3 start.
I think our mentality as just a whole group and as a team is just to keep on pushing. I mean, it's with the coaches being new and everyone kind of being new around here, it's like we're still working with each other, getting better, just pushing every day. And yeah, just keep going. Can't stop because, no one's going to feel sorry for you. So.
Well, Waylon, and that's probably what Waylon's probably telling you, right? Being the older guy of the group, probably saying, look, man, like, you can sit here, doubt yourself, all that stuff. You can't let it happen. You got to continue to move forward. And I'm sure you probably think back to your freshman days, right? Going, I was in that position, but here you are relaying the valuable information that you know now that maybe you didn't know back then. Look, man, got to keep going. Got to keep this attitude.
Yeah, we just been we went back to the film room on Sunday and just kind of like looking at everything we could have fixed, and there was a lot of one person missed blocks that we had, and that could have led to a bigger play. But just getting back to it this week, making sure we're reading everything right and making plays. So
okay, we got that out of the way. We talked about last week. Now we can turn on some other fun questions here. Waylon, I got to start with you because I was talking to Coach Terry Harrison earlier, and I was like, man, it's got to be kind of a unique transition going from wide receiver to an A-back. And he goes, I'm pretty sure you played a little bit of defense too. I'm like, now you mention it, I think I do recall him being on the defensive side a little bit. So you've kind of bounced around here and there, and here you are in your final year playing that A-back spot. So what's been like with that transition to the A-back and the flex bone?
It's been awesome. Obviously, last year, whenever I ended at defense, it was I kind of came in and was not sure where I was going to end up at. So I just had to come in and ask Harrison, like, Coach Harrison, where I was going to be at, and he said A-back. So I was like, all right, back to the offense, and let's get her rolling. And so it kind of came in handy just because I've never really played running back fully, but it's kind of like a receiver running back split spot. So I was like, I kind of have experience at it, so I was cool with that. But
well, it's so unique. You go from defense to offense, and I just can't imagine. And you just brought up, what I'm going to do. What can I do to help things out? So I'm sure when you enter as a freshman, you're probably wondering that, which side I'm going to play on, and I just wonder how you kind of attack that. I'm sure you just go make the best plays I possibly can make, but I'm sure there's got to be a little bit of confusion going, well, I don't know. I don't know which side I'm going to play on. It's a little different.
Yeah. Well, coming in as a freshman, like in high school I played literally every position. We didn't have a lot of guys.
Yeah.
So
Independent.
Yeah. So I came in and I kind of just got thrown in on the offensive side. So I stuck with that all 3 years. And then we had a couple injuries last year, and I told them I had a little bit of experience on the defensive side. So they threw me in at safety just to help out the team, whatever we could have done the last couple games. And then, like I said, Coach Harrison came in and just threw me in at A-back. So.
And it's been a dream ever since, I
yeah,
suppose.
Honestly, yeah.
When you run for 165 yards,
that's a good day.
Kind of helps. I was talking to Coach Harrison about this, though, with the flex bone. You never know whose night it's going to be. It could be hammering the B-back all night long with Zach Dressler. It could be Andrew Arnold or Jack Mullen just keeping the ball underneath the center because that's what the defense is showing you. So I guess in your position where you kind of don't know if you're going to get the ball or not, what's it like? You just kind of stay ready? How do you stay ready in that sort of situation?
Honestly, with what we do in practice, we're like always 5-step arcing to make our blocks and then running our pitch paths. So you never really know. It's just how the play ends up and how the defense aligns to us. So really it just depends on how they align to us, and whenever we make that play, players are going to make plays. So it really just depends on the night and what happens. So.
Well, now you got to block a little bit more, though.
Yeah, that is true. But, we've been working on it a
You
little
okay?
bit.
You okay?
Yeah,
You
I
okay
kind of
with
like
blocking?
it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I know you're a physical tailback last game against Tabor. That 88-yarder, I think everyone was questioning how did he stay in bounds, first and foremost. That was pretty impressive that way.
Yeah, it was kind of like running the sideline, but towards the end of that run, I had to unhitch the wagon. It was catching up to me.
And take up that knife and yeah, there goes the rope. That type of experience there. Ethan, I want to turn my attention to you. Here you are as a freshman, kind of just learning everything. You're basically just a sponge, is what you are.
Yeah.
So you're trying to learn everything, and everything's a little bit different, especially when you go from a senior, a big dog in Claremore, Oklahoma, and then you go to a new university and you go, I'm no longer the big dog here. Although you still think you got confidence and stuff like that, but things change a little bit. So I guess your thoughts of just trying to adjust to a new location here in Wichita.
Yeah, I mean, it's like what you said. Like in high school, I was like the big dog. I could bully around like the tackles and stuff in high school, but now it's a lot more different. I'm dealing with grown men, and so it's a lot harder to throw them around than it was in high school, obviously. But yeah, but I'm just basically what you said. I'm a sponge, just trying to soak up all the information I can, learn from the older guys, and just trying to get better every day. So.
Well, you're telling me defensive alignment, you don't just go out there and try to make a tackle? Like, you're telling me there's more to it than that? Wow, mind blown. I cannot believe it. I'm sure you're probably thinking, oh, that's all I got to do, right? Just show up and just go make the tackle. That's all I got to do. But now it's like, oh, you have all these different assignments, and if you knew your assignment, then guess what? It could be 88 yards over your head, or a guy gets the hole, and boom, it's over.
It's a touchdown, yep. So we have a lot of assignments we have to do, and they're really key. So, like, if you do mess up, it can end up in the big play. So we just got to pay attention to that, know your assignment, and just do your job.
Have you had a welcome to college moment yet? Do you know what I mean by this?
Yes, I know.
Waylon should know, because there should be like an image in his head. See, I never played college ball, but I've talked to many people that have played college ball, and they always know what that one moment was in practice where this, you're a freshman. There's a 6'6", 355-pound behemoth that goes, all right, freshman, you're going to learn today. I'm tired of you going at my legs. I'm going to show you something here. And he gets steamrolled. Have you had a welcome to the college moment yet as a freshman?
Yes. My welcome to college moment was actually against Kansas Wesleyan, and their center got hold of me pretty well. And then,
Trey saw it.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So that was my welcome to college moment.
He's kind of a decent player, and Trace does kind of watch things too. So Trace, if you're watching, thanks for watching the Friends University Coaches Show up there in Salina. Waylon?
Oh my gosh!
Do you know? Do you have one?
I remember it very vividly. So we were doing one-on-ones my freshman year in fall camp, and Sonny Brown got a hold of my jersey and just shucked me, and I flew like 30 yards. I kid you not. And I was like, "Oh, that's a grown man."
And that's when you go, I need to go to the weight room.
Yeah, exactly.
This upcoming summer,
yeah,
right?
Exactly. That's exactly what I had to do.
Well, it's certainly a culture, and there's a process behind it all. And Coach Harrison was telling me that you had all this stuff lined up, and it's awesome. Like, the next step for you is great. It's kind of already lined up, which is excellent. But you also brought up how you have this internship, but yet you didn't miss any weights. You didn't miss any of that, because I think you understand the importance of you got to get in and work every single day.
Yeah, I don't know. I just had a resurgence of love for the game once Coach Harrison came in. He told us what he expected from us, and then during the summer, I had the internship. I was working 8 to 5. We had weights at 5:30, so I went right from work to weights, and then got in with the weight room with a bunch of the guys, and man, it was just awesome. It was just awesome. The environment was amazing, and then every once in a while we'd stay after and try to get. Don't tell Coach Harrison this, but we got a little basketball in to get a little.
Don't watch this part.
Exactly.
Here's a disclaimer. Coach Harrison, skip ahead about 30 seconds here.
But yeah, we stayed after weights and we got some conditioning in playing basketball, so that kind of helped out for the season.
Gee,
so.
I wonder why Coach Harrison wouldn't like something like that. It's like Patrick Mahomes going out there and playing ball, and you're like, no more, Patrick.
Yeah.
You're getting paid $500 million. You just go over there, play football, do nothing else.
Yeah, but we never told him that, so that's the good thing.
Well, until now.
Yeah, exactly.
So hopefully nothing happens in practice next week. And if something does happen, that's all on you, brother.
Yeah,
Just
exactly.
saying. You're the one that put yourself in that position.
I threw myself out there.
Well, you brought up the love of the game coming back to you with Coach Terry Harrison. Why is that? What does Coach Harrison do that makes you kind of love the game a little bit more?
I think just throwing out the discipline, first and foremost, like just everyone being on the same page, discipline-wise, making sure people are showing up to weights and things like that. But yeah, I just love that kind of environment, and then the fun environment of playing football rather than like it being a hobby or a job.
Mm-hmm. So. Yeah, for sure. Ethan, well, you're the freshman. You're the young pup. You're the one that made the decision to come up to Wichita. You're the one that listened to Coach Terry Harrison and said, you know what, I want to go play for that guy right there. Why is that? What made you become a Friends Falcon?
So when I came up on my visit, I just loved the way it felt. It just felt like a family vibe when I came up. And I came up and they were lifting weights and stuff, and I saw how they were putting each other up and stuff like that. And, just after seeing that and seeing how tight they were and stuff like that, I just wanted to be a part of that. So that's what really made my decision. And it just coming to Wichita, it honestly just felt like home to me, honestly. Like a second home. So.
Well, I'm glad. What have you liked about Wichita so far? Have you found all the hot joints yet, the hot spots?
Well, that's what
he's
and
a defensive lineman. That's why I asked that, because
Exactly.
he's the one that's probably going to know the stuff. Him and the offensive line over here.
Well, as I was talking to Waylon before this, I was talking about how with school and everything and football, I haven't really been able to go out to many places. So it's just mainly been a couple food spots here and there, and then class,
Yeah, it's food and class. So, yeah, what's it like juggling everything?
It was challenging at first, but I'm starting to get in the groove of things, with study hall, class, and stuff like that. So
Well, it takes a little bit to get in the swing of things.
Yeah.
We can all, well, Waylon and I can relate back in our freshman year, although I wasn't dealing with football, still was dealing with, just trying to figure out, what's this? I can show up to class, and I don't have to show up to class? Great. I'm not going to show up to class. This is great. And you learn after like a week, you should probably go to class. And things change a little bit when you do something like that. So not saying Waylon skip, not saying Ethan's going to skip like I am, or like I did back in the day. But it's one of those things, you get freedom now, right? You get freedom, and things change a little bit. But when you got football on your plate, certainly there's a lot of stuff that you got to worry about. And football is definitely one of those things, but so is classwork. Classwork is very, very important.
Yep.
As Waylon would certainly attest. The guy who has a big boy job all lined up, all that stuff. My goodness gracious. What's it like knowing that, hey, you can go out there and enjoy every single second, and then once it's over, hey, I'm lined up. I'm staying right here in Wichita. I got a job right here. Boom. It's easy as that.
Just knowing the end is coming is honestly really scary, because it's the real world. But I've just been soaking in all the moments this year, just with all the guys, and trying to make new friendships with people that aren't on the football team, just because it's my last year, so why not make this the best experience I've had.
Yeah.
But man, I'm pretty excited for that opportunity coming up, but definitely staying in the moment at the time.
Oh, a business degree, right? So that's what you're majoring in, right?
Accounting and business administration.
Accounting and business administration.
Yeah.
And you going to Friends University, was that your goal from the get-go?
No, actually, I came in undecided. So it took me a whole year before I even realized what I wanted to do.
My goodness.
Yeah.
And then you go, you know what? That sounds like a pretty decent idea.
Yeah, Nicole Wynn, man, she's awesome.
And
That's
that
the
was
accounting
it.
professor, yeah. She definitely just has the love for accounting, so.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like Harrison for football.
Yeah, I mean, that's it. It just rubs off on you.
Yeah.
It just rubs off on you. I know my first month on the campus at KU, it didn't take me long to realize I want to be in radio, which is crazy because originally I was thinking I was going to be a sports writer, and then I said, you know what, radio sounds a lot cooler. I got the face for it and everything, so voice is okay, but I got the face for it. I'm not going to be on TV. I'm not a very good writer, so this makes sense. Ethan, do you have a major yet?
Yes, I'm actually majoring in health science.
Health science. Okay.
Yeah.
What made you go into that?
I want to be a physical therapist.
Okay.
Yep. So work with athletes and stuff like that.
Yeah, good idea. Well, can you help out a 32-year-old guy who is hurting after playing pickup basketball last night because my knees are killing?
No, I haven't got that far yet.
Well, I'll come back to you in a couple of years. That's what happened. I'll come back to you in a couple of years. I asked this question last week because I found out that we had like a rivalry. It was like a Dallas Cowboys fan and like a Philadelphia Eagles fan. I'm like, whoa, we got a rivalry right here. You're from Oklahoma, so Claremore. How big is Claremore first and foremost?
It's so in Oklahoma we're like a 5A school, so it's probably like
a decent size.
Yeah, it's probably like 20,000.
Okay.
30,000 somewhere around there.
Well, that trumps my 2,000 up in Seneca, Kansas. So believe me, you're doing just fine. So what are you then?
Well, this might sound crazy, but I'm actually a 49ers fan.
Well,
San Francisco.
I'm sorry, Ethan. Trey Lance isn't it. Jimmy Garoppolo is moving forward, so I'm sorry. Kyle Shanahan's overrated. We'll just leave it at that. But hey, good defense, blah blah blah. Defensively, they're pretty decent. And by the way, my Chiefs beat them.
You're a Chiefs fan.
Yeah, of course.
That's a little lucky though.
It's sort of luck. I'm not the one who allowed a long play to happen with the wasp call there from the Kansas City Chiefs. So I'm not the one who saw my team blow it by X amount of touchdowns. Waylon?
I'm with the Chiefs on this one.
Okay. You're in good shape.
I have a little bit of another team, though, just because I'm a big Baker Mayfield guy.
Oh, RIP to you too, then, man.
Yeah. But Chiefs.
They're about to be 0-3.
Oh, well, come on now. We're going to make that 1-2. We're going to flip the script.
Yeah, Matt Rule is already dialing up Lincoln, Nebraska right now, doing all that he can to go up to Lincoln, Nebraska.
Make sure he has another job in
I'm just saying. Okay, I like this question too. So you're a defensive tackle. Are you like Aaron Donald trying to emulate your game after Aaron Donald, or do you have anyone in particular that you pay attention to?
Oh, yeah. Aaron Donald's for sure one of them. He plays the game with a lot of violence.
The dude is just incredible. Yeah, just make sure he doesn't grab helmets and swing at people.
Yeah. Yeah, he's insane. His footwork and then his hands and just his power is just insane. So, yeah, he's one of the players I watch on Sundays that I like watching.
Okay, fair enough. Waylon?
Man, I would love to say Aaron Donald, as crazy as it sounds.
I'm trying to figure out what you would say. A guy who's played wide receiver, switched over the defense, and then goes to A-back.
Oh, see, they don't have that one. But I was thinking just the kind of guy that plays like everything on offense. Debo Samuel.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. Respect.
Yes.
Respect.
I just love like his tenacity to go out and do everything.
Yeah.
Like whatever the coach asked him. But his heart, the way he played in the playoffs last year, oh my gosh, he was on fire. I just love everything about him.
I dig it. Good answers.
So close.
Yeah. Waylon just chose a player just to make you feel a little bit better about your 49ers, right? That's what you're doing. Senior move over here, a veteran just going, you know what, I got to make the freshman. Keep that positivity up, Like, your 49ers are okay. Yeah, we'll see if that's the case. All right, guys. Well, I'll let you get going. But, Ethan, thank you so much. Waylon, thank you so much. You guys have been great. Best of luck to you on Saturday.
Appreciate you.
All right, Waylon Chance, Ethan Grimmett. You can catch them on the field this Saturday at 6 o'clock at Adair Austin Stadium. It's Friends University in St. Mary. Come on out. Should be a great night of football under the lights. The only college football here in Wichita, might I add. So come on out and support Friends University. And a cool thing coming up on Saturday, too. Every ticket purchased on Saturday, $1 will be donated to the Union Rescue Mission, a very important thing. We sit here talking about football and so on and so forth, but we also understand that there's a little bit more in life than football, and there's certainly a lot of individuals that have fallen to some tough times. So come on out and support that. Every ticket purchase on Saturday, $1 will be donated to the Union Rescue Mission. Well, that does it for us here on the Friends University Coaches Show. I want to say thank you to Chicken Max, 3 locations in Wichita. We are at the Weston Maple location, 325 Southwest Street. Chicken Mac's, locally owned and hatched right here in Wichita, known for their legendary sandwiches, taking the chicken sandwich to the max. Smoked chicken is smoked in almond wood every day, several times a day in each location, giving it a fresh, unique flavor. Savory sides like mac and cheese. Got to make sure Ethan doesn't get his hands on those. Mashed potatoes and gravy, potato salad, coleslaw, and more. And club salads and power balls with their smoked chicken for a healthy choice, and several sauces unique to Chicken Mac's. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you again next week. Talons up.